Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, I am going to go over the overhyped bottles and bottles that can replace them. And hopefully you can get these bottles easily. I don't normally sit up here and dog bottles, and that is not what I'm going to do today. But some of these bottles are just overhyped because either they're very hard to get, and people have never had them, so they can't wait to get their hands on them. And some of these bottles, the juice just isn't that good, and I just disagree with some of the people who say that these are phenomenal bottles. Look, all palates are different. Everyone has their own opinion. I have one bottle on this list that I won't say I got a lot of heat for, but a lot of people disagreed with me when I put it on another list that didn't do so well. So let's get started, because I know you clicked on the thumbnail because of this bottle right here. Elmer T. Lee. This has to be one of the most overhyped bottles in the game. The juice inside is just, it's not that great, man. It's bland. I know it's not just me. I've sampled it out to people. They've told me the same thing. I said, look, I am going to give you this sample. Just tell me what you think about it. And it's been the same response every time. So when you see this bottle sitting in the store and it's like, oh, it's $150, let me grab it. This thing retails for, I believe, $37.99. It is very overhyped. However, I do have some bottles that I think can replace this, and I think they're easier to find. So let's get those over here. So first bottle up. This might not be as easy to find, but I think as far as a 90 proofer goes, because that's what the Elmer T. Lee comes in at, Eagle Rare, out of the same Buffalo Trace Sazerac house, is one of the best 90 proof pours that you can get. I mean, I think it just offers a lot of flavor. It's got some peppery notes. You know, sometimes you don't want something that is just very, very smooth and bland. You want something that's got a little bit of bite to it, a little bit of kickback to it. When I first got in the game, I thought Eagle Rare was a little too spicy, didn't really care for it. I was like, nah, that's just not for me. Now I think it is. It's one of my favorite 90 proof pours out there. Next up on the list, Bardstown Origin Series. Now this comes in a few proof points higher, so this one comes in at 96 proof. I think this is an excellent high rye pour, because once again, if I didn't say it, I believe the Elmer T. Lee is supposed to be their high rye mash bill. When it comes to high rye bourbon, you can go ahead and get this, and I think this beats it every day of the week. It's a little more expensive. I think the new Origin Series, you can find it for around 40, 45 bucks. The Eagle Rare, that price is going to vary, because you know, if you're living in a state where you can't get it for retail, it will be all over the place. I've shot videos where I've seen it for in the 50s, and I've shot videos where one of my last hunt videos had it for $105. I think it was on the shelf. It was something crazy like that. Also, let me throw a third one at you. I think this one right here, if you can find 13th Colony, it does not, well, I'll say this. 13th Colony at this point does not have a very large distribution. So it is very hard for me to get my hands on this bottle. I was able to acquire this bottle, thankfully, but this is a very, very, very good bottle of bourbon. And this one, I believe, comes in at 90, I was about to say 3, but it's 95 proof. So all pretty close to the same proof point. So, you know, I think it's just a better replacement instead of chasing Mr. Elmer T. Lee himself. All right, let's get on to the second bottle. So the second bottle is going to be 1792 Sweet Wheat. I am just not a fan, and I did the same thing. I sampled this thing out to certain people, and I got the same response. It is just not great. I am not going, and I'm a 1792 lover. I am not going to spend any time chasing this bottle. I don't recommend that you spend any time chasing this bottle. I am just going to get into a great replacement for it. So a great replacement for 1792 Sweet Wheat has got to be Green River. Green River is putting out some great products, man. This right here, I didn't want to have too many Green Rivers on the channel. I almost put the Green River in over here with the 13 Colony, the Bardstown Origin, and the Eagle Rare, but I said, nah, that's just too many Green Rivers. So anyway, the Green River Wheated is just phenomenal, man. It comes in at 90 proof. This one right here has a weird proof. It's 91.2, so the proof is around the same. This just offers more flavor. sometimes when you put some of the Green River products beside some older stuff, you can pick out some of those useful notes. But on its own, it is an excellent product. Now, I might get some blowback for this one. This is just a stand-in, but for the Halloween party, I did buy a bottle of regular Maker's Mark. This is the Maker's Mark Cask Strength. This is better than the Sweet Wheat to me. If you wanted to go with a wheated bourbon that's good, I might get some hate for this, but I think the regular Maker's Mark is some good bourbon, man. All right, let's get on to the third one. So, third one, this is the one that I caught a little bit of heat for. Let me take a sip before I get into it. Cooper's Craft. Cooper's Craft doesn't do it for me. It's Cooper's Craft just does not do it for me at all, man. When it comes to a good replacement for Cooper's Craft, I'm going to have to say OF 100. OF 100 to me beats Cooper Craft any day of the week. I've done it in blinds, and it comes out first in blinds. It always comes out ahead of Cooper's Craft. Cooper's Craft is just something about it. It doesn't do it for me. I could also throw Early Times Black Cap on the table as well, but I know that that's a little harder to find these days. The Blue Cap, I don't have a bottle right now. I did have a bottle, it's gone anyway. But OF 100 to me beats out Cooper's Craft any day of the week. All right, let's get on to the next bottle. I got to move some of these bottles around. They're starting to fill up a little bit. All right, so Still Austin. I don't know why there's such a following behind Still Austin. Still Austin has some of these weird, rough corn husk notes that can be great when blended well into other bourbons, but to me, that's all I get out of Still Austin. And I don't know, man. For some reason, it just does not do it for me. So a good replacement for the Still Austin Cask Strength would be Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now, this comes in at 118. The rare breed that I have here comes in at 116.8. The new rare breed, I believe, comes in at 118.8. Then you also have my number one $60 bottle, because this does come in around 54, 55 bucks. This one you can catch it on sale for about 55 bucks, sometimes 60, 65, depending on where you're at. Old Forester 1920. You know I sing praises of that thing from the rooftops. Old Forester 1920 coming in at 115. Kicks Still Austins, but every day of the week, all day long. All right, let me get to another one. This is Kirkland. So the Kirkland, and it comes in at 1 liter. So the Kirkland Master Distiller Series, this is a special limited release. This is a single barrel. This thing, I have not released the review of it yet, but you see where it's at. This thing, I've had it for probably about 2 months now. This thing's amazing. So if you want to watch the review just for some entertainment, but I'm already telling you this thing is amazing. All right, let's get into the next bottle. So, High West Rendezvous. This thing, the Rendezvous to me is just overhyped. Why? I do not know. I find it to be bland. I think if you want to stay with that High West profile, you'd be better off going with the regular High West Double Rye. Now, I've got a second option for you, but if you find both of these to be bland, then you can go with Uncle Nearest. This Uncle Nearest, I know it comes in a few proof points higher, I believe somewhere around 10. The Rendezvous comes in at 92, so it's only 8 more than the Rendezvous. But this thing is flavorful. I have not released the review on this. I've actually had this bottle for somewhere around 6 to 8 months. I haven't released the review on it. It was back before I got a better mic, so I just kind of didn't want to put it out there, and I haven't shot another one, but I need to do that because I think this thing definitely deserves some camera time. Let me see if I can get these shifted over just a little more to get some room for the last 2, really 3, but last 2 bottles. All right, so we're into the toasted era now. All right, so we're finishing in second barrels and things like that. These 2 bottles I can do together. Elijah Craig Toasted and Woodford Reserve Double Oak. These two right here, I don't know why people hype these things up. They just don't do it for me. The Elijah Craig Toasted is just too oaky, way too oaky. And this Woodford Reserve Double Oak, I got to get my hands on a store pick. I'll probably go to Total Wine at some point. They had them all over when I shot that video there last year. And I saw some new videos where Total Wine just seems to keep these Double Oaks store picks. So I'll have to get a store pick because it does absolutely nothing for me. I mean, it is super bland. It just does not do, it doesn't do well in blinds. I did get it down to a certain point. It had this weird funkiness going on. Then it started to kind of turn the corner a little bit, but then I started going back to it, and it's just that weird 90.4 proof. It just doesn't do it, man. It's something weird about it. But a replacement for both of those bottles, and unfortunately I don't have one. I don't even have the bottle left. It is Old Forester 1910. Old Forester 1910 beats both of these hands down. It is not even a competition. That's my own opinion. So I know my opinion might get me into some trouble, a little bit of hot water. You guys may agree, you may disagree. Put them in the comments. Let me know what you think. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you're headed to a drop. Till next time.